This is one of the best Predator movies since the original. Welcome back to my 2 cents, everyone. And today I'm going to be giving you my 2 cents on the newest installment in the Predator franchise, Predator Badlands. The Predator franchise has been having a really good run recently, with Prey basically reviving the franchise, and with Killer of Killers adding more lore to the Predators and just doing something different. As someone who is a big fan of this franchise, I absolutely love what Dan Trachtenberg is doing with the Predator IP, and spoiler alert, I love this movie. Starting off with the characters as always, the thing that makes this Predator movie different from the rest is our main character is actually a predator. Not that kind of predator. Or a Yautja, as they're called in their universe. Dek is the runt of his clan and is sent off by his father to go hunt down the most dangerous creature he can find so that he can prove to his father and his clan that he is worthy of the Yautja name. And for those wondering why Dek is shorter than your average predator and has kind of an odd face compared to normal predators, that's why. Which, if you don't know, a major part of the Yautja species and their culture is that they are prey to nobody. Their entire existence is based off of taking down the strongest creature and keeping their body parts as trophies to prove themselves to their people. In their culture, if you don't come back with your hunt or you fail to take down the creature, they will consider you killed on sight if you return to Yautja Prime, their home planet. As most predators are, Dek is an absolute badass while also being kind of relatable. He wants to prove to his people, especially his father, that even though he is smaller and not as strong as an average predator, he is still worthy to be in the clan and is still strong, if not stronger, than what other members of his tribe think. I've heard a lot of people say that they actually don't like Dek's design, which is mostly due to him not being as ugly of a motherfucker as the other Yautja we've seen. And while his design is not my favorite, I actually still like his design. I mean, he has everything a predator should have. He has the fangs, he has the braids, he's got all the weapons that a predator normally has, like the wrist blades and plasma caster. He is still an awesome predator, and ultimately, I think the thing that you are gonna like Dek for the most is his character and not really his design. Now I'm going to talk about the only other main character in this movie who is played by Ella Fanning, and that's Thea. Thea is a synthetic humanoid made by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation to capture a creature called the Kalisk, which is what Dek is after. But she was taken and ripped in half by the Kalisk and was just left on the planet to rot. Which I'm sure you Alien fans recognize that the Weyland-Yutani Corporation is the same corporation that was mentioned in Alien Romulus. This is because, if you somehow don't know, the Alien and Predator franchises are in the same universe. And apparently Independence Day is also in that universe now. Anyways, while I do like the scenes that Thea has with Dek, and that they give her her own moments to shine and be a badass, I personally thought she was a little too goofy. And I know she's there to be comic relief and to actually give us some lines of dialogue from Dek, but I just wish she would have cracked less jokes and would have went for more of a serious tone with a few jokes thrown in there. And although from my viewing experience, I didn't feel this the same way a lot of people did, but there are times throughout the movie where I do see what people mean by where this movie seems Disney-fied. Because, you know, the whole unlikely duo that start out not liking each other and then eventually come to an understanding by the end of the movie. Which is like a Disney movie story to go with, I will admit. But honestly, I didn't mind it for most of the movie. In fact, I hardly noticed it much until the end. And if anything, the fact that Dek doesn't kill her does line up with the Yautja code. Now, there are other side characters in the movie like Tessa, Dek's brother, and Dek's father, but I feel like those characters could potentially spoil the movie for you, so I'm just going to skip them. All you need to know is that I think all of these characters are great, and I love all of them, even if some of them sometimes act a bit cartoonish. Now, the story of this movie is that after being cast out from his clan by his father, Dek must go on a journey to find the most dangerous creature from the Yautja Codex attacks, and bring its head and spine home as a trophy to prove that he is strong enough. And after crash landing on literally the most dangerous planet in the galaxy, he finds Thea, who helps him track down his ultimate prey. I absolutely love this story. And as someone who absolutely loves monster movies, I always talk about how I want a monster movie completely from the point of view of the monster. And I think this movie is the closest you can get to that without it being boring or too short from the lack of dialogue. And I love it that way. Kinda wish another franchise would try that sometime. And the Predator character has always been one that I've wanted to see from their perspective, because in the other movies, you always see what they do from the human's point of view, so you don't get the full context. Like, for instance, in Predators, we found out that Yautja go to other planets to train. We found out in AVP that Predators have honor and will not kill something that doesn't have a weapon. And it's really cool to see that concept actually realized. And I love that with this film and the previous two films, we have really started to learn more about the Yautja. And I mean, they are what people come to this franchise for, so... And I know that we've heard the Yautja speak before, briefly in other films, but in this movie, almost half the dialect is Deck. Admittedly, although I do still like the direction they went with this story, I do wish that they went with a more darker tone that was set at the beginning of the movie and kept it going to the end, because closer to the end, it felt like the movie went with more of a light-hearted tone, and I just don't think this franchise in general does good with light-hearted tones. My only other complaint that I have with this movie is that I wish it was rated R instead of PG-13. And they're still able to get away with some pretty gruesome kills by having synthetics instead of humans and having giant monsters with different colored blood, but this franchise was made for rated R. Real quick, I wanted to talk about the awesome use of visual and practical effects in this movie. As is custom for all good live-action Predator movies, the Predator was played by a stuntman in a fully practical suit. Obviously, Deck's head was CGI, but everything else was practical. And I love how all these suits came out and how everything practical looks, especially Deck's father. And all the practical and digital effects really blend so seamlessly. Like, Deck looks like a real living creature. And this makes all the fights all the more impressive and badass to me. Please never go back to fully CGI Predators again. Now, there's a lot of awesome scenes to choose from for the That's Money segment, with the constant action and the amazing effects, but I think my favorite scene is going to be when the Kalisk finally breaks out and attacks the company's outpost. I won't say anything more than that just to avoid spoilers, but that scene is literally what I come to creature features and monster movies for. And for the first time on my channel, I'm giving a movie a That's Cash segment and a Blood Money award. And for the Blood Money award, even though it's not human, I think I'm gonna give it to the elephant-like creature that Deck literally splits in half. That scene is just so badass, and Dex's scream at the end, just, you really feel that kill, and it was awesome. Overall, guys, I had an amazing time with Predator Badlands. I loved the consistently badass action, the amazing use of practical and digital effects, and of course having the story fully focused on Deck, which I really hope we get to see more of him in the future with a potential sequel, which is almost definitely going to happen because this movie's already made so much money. With the potential for something big being built up, I really want him to be there for whenever this big event movie happens. While this is so close to what I would say is my perfect version of a Predator movie, I believe that with Dan, someday we will get the perfect mix of horror and action to make the perfect Predator movie. So while nothing's ever going to beat the original, I believe that Predator Badlands is the best Predator movie that we have gotten since that original, and it is absolutely worth paying double for. And that's my review of Predator Badlands. Thank you guys so much for the insane support I got on the out of theater reaction to Predator Badlands. I honestly didn't think I'd ever get that many views on a video so soon in my YouTube channel, let alone ever on my YouTube channel. I know it's on Instagram, but still. Even if those people never actually check out the channel or see this review, I'm still very thankful for them to taking time out of their day to just see me talk about this movie. And I'm very thankful for you guys for still giving me a chance and taking time out of your days to watch this video. Anyways, be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel to not miss any of my future reviews. I got some good videos coming up, I promise. And as always, be sure to give me your 2 cents on Predator Badlands in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week.